Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unschooling Lifestyle. Today, I have Emerson with me, and he is an unschooling teenager. And we're going to go ahead and just have a quick conversation about his journey and how his family got started. So, hi, Emerson. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I'm 16 years old,
Okay.
uh, general guy who lives his life. I don't know. Boy
I
Scout
love
extraordinaire.
Yeah. So I know, so I had a conversation with your mom a few
Mhm.
weeks ago, and then do you remember when, your school years?
I
How old were
do.
you?
I stopped going to public school in third grade, and then we
Okay.
transitioned to an online school. It's K-12. I think it's the most popular
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah.
And then that didn't work very well, and so we did like a private school thing,
Uh-huh.
where we like went a couple days a week, and that didn't work very well. And then we moved, and then my mom was just kind of, and then my mom kind of discovered like unschooling and was like, "Why are
Uh-huh.
we just try this?" And so then that's kind of what we've been sticking with the whole time we've lived where we live now. So
That is so what so from public school, what do you remember the most that has been most liberating, I guess, from public school to like unschool in the transition?
well, my transition was pretty slow. So there was a lot of like, I didn't have to like get used to a new lifestyle really quickly.
Mhm.
But I guess looking back on it, I mean, it was only third grade. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah. So
the
you were
most
pretty
oppressive environment, but still, like I remember I would come home from school and I'd be like crying, and mom was like, "That's not what children are supposed to do." So
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
we would reconsider, doing that. Remember, I got put in
Mhm.
all the gifted classes. I didn't really understand why. I didn't
Okay.
really care. Like, I didn't like it. It just made me feel kind of awkward, honestly, because I never really got why people were like that. They're like,
Wow.
"Oh, you're so good at whatever." I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to live my life, man.
Oh
I'm
my
just in third
goodness.
grade. Like, I don't need this pressure. I'm literally
Yes.
9.
Yeah, so you really did feel that pressure, and just but didn't know why it was coming to
Mhm.
you, towards you?
Yeah, I think I really did looking back on it. I think that's what it
Hmm.
was.
Yeah. And then as you like most of us parents, like, there's a general guideline they say for every year that you've been in public school, you should deschool around 3 months. But
Hmm.
in my opinion, I don't think that the schooling process ever ends, at least for, adults, because we've been through a lot. How did your deschooling process look like?
Well, I mentioned that it was really, really gradual. So,
Hmm.
we kind of we kind of just like got less and less structure
Okay.
as the years kept going. So like fourth grade was like online school was like a structure. I mostly just was on my computer and like I don't know, I got distracted really easy on my computer because I never
Yeah.
had like a laptop before and I'm in fourth
Yeah.
grade. So that didn't work super well.
I love it.
So then we went to a different kind of school. I think it was
Hmm.
called Educational Harbor. It was pretty cool.
Okay.
I didn't not like it, but I didn't really get a lot out of it, I guess.
Hmm. Hmm.
That was even less structured than that because there wasn't really a curriculum per se. And
Okay.
then we just like went straight, no curriculum. I don't have any schoolwork. I don't have any tests. I just kind of live my
That,
life, do what I want.
yes. So when you say you do what you want,
Mhm.
what did you started doing that had been like a passion for you?
Well, I had to kind of find one.
Okay.
When I first started being having this more radical unschooling lifestyle,
Hmm.
I didn't I was a little I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was very much like I don't really know what to do. Like I felt like I was
Yes.
missing something
Yes.
because I couldn't relate to anybody. I
Yes.
didn't have these universal experiences of like, oh, I don't like this teacher. Oh, this is
Hmm.
the school activity. I didn't have that.
Yes.
So I had
No
to
one
really
was guiding you, I guess, right? No one was
I
telling you
suppose
which way
so,
to
yeah.
go. Hmm.
Well, that and also I think a lot of kids in public school don't really get a chance to explore their interests in like a way they want to. They're just like presented with them. And it's like,
Yes.
here are your options, kids. Have fun. You can join the band, you can do the you can do the
Hmm.
football. Like pick
Yes.
one. But I don't know. I guess I really had to get used to doing things or exploring things on my own
On
that
your
I
own.
cared about and I had to
Hmm.
figure it out too. Um like it was hard at first, and then eventually I realized like I've actually this is not a bad thing that that I'm missing out on all these school
Hmm.
opportunities. It's a good thing that can make my own opportunities.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
pursue things more heavily that I want to.
For
But that
sure.
was genuinely a very hard thing for me to accept and get used to. It took me a long time. me like a couple
Okay.
years.
Yeah. Yeah. I could
Because
see
it's
that.
really hard as a kid when you're looking for connections, and
Mm-hmm.
then you
Mm-hmm.
can't connect with people. It's really difficult. And I think
That
that's
is,
probably the biggest hurdle people would be facing when they
yeah,
start to
the
transition.
connection. Have
Hmm.
you, as you transition, what was your, I know your mom mentioned your online community
Hmm.
that was a big part of the connection with people. Was how does that get started with gaming and stuff like that?
Well, I've always thought about doing live streaming,
Okay.
just for fun, and
Mm-hmm.
I got a PC because mom's a real one like that, and
Okay.
I just decided to download OBS one day and then start playing video games on the internet. And then I just kept doing that. And then
Uh-huh.
I met people and they were nice. Like
Yeah.
it was really that simple. And then I have like a Discord server and whatnot. I have
Okay.
and then that community just kept on growing and it still
Okay.
is. So like it's still relatively small, but it's mostly for fun. But it's
So,
satisfying for me. It
okay.
has a sense of community.
That can we backtrack a little bit on what OBS means? Because
Oh, yeah,
yes,
I probably
thank
should have
you.
explained that.
No, no, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, you're
So
talking to a mom that's been
yes.
gradually like overcoming the hurdle of like
Hmm.
video games and stuff like that. So I know a little bit, but let's just explain what is
Okay.
OBS?
So OBS is essentially the software, the thing you download to actually do streaming. Stands for
Okay.
Open Broadcasting Software Source, something like that. And
Yes.
it's just it lets you download or it lets you like record video and stream. That's basically what it is. So that's the program that allows you to do that.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And is that what most people use, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
most people
okay.
use OBS or
And
like a
and
different
that's what
version
you
of it.
use for like do you record yourself gaming or do you like react to other people's gaming videos too?
I I just I don't make YouTube videos.
Okay.
Well sometimes I do, but they're not gaming related.
Okay,
They're just
okay.
kind of for fun. Like, do you see that horse head back there?
Yes,
I
yeah.
have like a little like a little series, like two videos where me and my friend just kind of run around the horse head. I don't really know how to explain it. It's supposed to be funny. I hope it is. Um and oh man, where was I? Yeah, but I mostly use OBS to just stream. So it's
Okay.
me playing a game
Okay.
live. There's a
Okay.
chat. They're there. They're watching. They're
Okay.
typing in there, and I can see
Okay.
them typing in there. And
Oh,
then there's kind of that back and forth while I play the game. So
okay.
that's
And
the dynamic.
how many people do you usually come to your streaming?
Well, it depends. Usually like at least five or so people will stop by, but I have like a few people who are like really committed and they'll stay there for a while. It's not a super big community.
Okay.
But I also haven't. Well, one, I'm a young person, which I think is genuinely a barrier, because people will see that and be like, "Mm." uh, and another thing is I haven't like. It's really hard to grow naturally
Okay.
on Twitch, which is the platform I stream on.
Okay. What do
Um,
you think that is?
uh, why do we think it's hard to grow
Yeah,
naturally?
it's a besides it says is there something else besides age?
Yes.
Okay.
So most people who stream on Twitch will also do other things.
Okay.
I really should, but I don't because it's hard. Um, but the reason they do that is because platforms like YouTube have a much better algorithm for serving up new videos to people, and Twitch
Uh-huh.
really doesn't do that. So it's
Okay.
hard for people to find your thing, find your stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
So
YouTube puts
yes.
stuff like in front of you. Like
Hmm.
if it feels senses your keywords, they put stuff in front of you. So
Yeah.
Twitch doesn't do that.
Well, it does it differently in a way
Okay.
where if you're really small, you're not gonna get seen.
Oh, I see. Well, that's kind of rude
Yeah,
almost.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's the reality of it though.
And
If you're not
then
in like the top like 10 on a certain
okay.
category, then
Okay.
you're not. It
Okay.
doesn't grow as much.
It doesn't grow. And what are your
Mhm.
favorite games? What do you like to play the most?
Well, I really like rhythm games. I don't stream them though. Do you know what a rhythm
Okay.
game is?
No, I probably
So,
can you name a name of a game that maybe?
um, on a mustache. I don't think you probably wouldn't know.
No,
Uh,
probably not.
but it's essentially they're really simple actually.
Okay.
Usually they have like some anime style to them just because that's the
Okay.
aesthetic they go for most of the time.
Okay.
And you just there's a song playing and then
Okay.
you hit different keys or buttons or whatever to the beat of the song. But it's really hard.
Oh, okay.
So mhm.
That
I'm
sounds
good. I'm
that
good at those.
okay, okay. Yeah,
And
definitely
then
said you have a good
mhm.
ear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also play music myself as well. So play the drums
Okay.
and bass guitar. So
Oh,
we
that's
can
really
get into that
cool.
too later after I go on
I
my
know.
tirade.
I know it feels like we're
You
going
kind of you
into
kind of unleash Pandora's box talking
yeah,
about all
with
this
the gaming.
stuff.
But you know what? I just feel like it's so interesting because you'll be surprised.
hmm
Well, probably no, be surprised, but how was your mom, with gaming? Because I know in my
hmm
personal experience, my son's only 9
hmm
and he's very good at some games and he has spent hours researching, how to get through. He played Zelda at one point, he started with Minecraft,
hmm
and I was so against them. And I always have felt so guilty for being so rude because it
hmm
wasn't something that I grew up with. So it wasn't,
Yeah.
I wasn't naturally drawn to it. And I just thought it was just like the worst thing in the world.
hmm
And then as I started doing research and trying to be more respectful of his choices, I really understood the value of, the skills that come from trying to
hmm
find this, different ways that you need to like guns or, artifacts or whatnot
hmm
to become better at the game. So how was your mom with it? In your own
Um.
words.
Well, I'm trying to think because she never really had a problem with it per se.
Okay.
I mean, when
Mm-hmm.
I was younger, I used to have a lot more like limits on what I could do,
Yes.
like screen time and whatnot. Which
Yeah.
I personally, I'm pretty like I no restrictions is better because then you can learn to self-regulate. But
I
like when
agree
you're
with
like
you.
really
Mm-hmm.
young, like I don't know, and you don't really have the brain capacity to understand like addiction,
Yeah.
like it fully, I totally understand like being like maybe let's get off the iPad, little Timmy. It's time to
Yeah.
go look at the
Let's
sun for a
just
minute.
let's do something else for a
There's
second.
other things in the world besides that. And I
Yeah.
think once you're older, and especially if you just are allowed to do that constantly, you're gonna get bored eventually. Um,
Yes.
like
Yes.
there's gonna be other things you want to do.
Yes.
hmm
I
My
highly
mom
agree
never
with
really
that.
had an issue with it.
That's awesome. I really love that though, because I think definitely I think in the like in the
hmm
parents community, I definitely see that a lot and there's a lot of fear around it. But I
I
have
agree.
seen
It really, well, as someone who has not many restrictions, it really throws me off too because I'm like, I'm fine, guys. I don't, I don't know stuff. I mean, video games are just like any other thing. Like
yeah.
my mom doesn't have a limit on how much wine she can drink. She just doesn't drink a ton because she knows it's bad for her.
You
Like
know it's bad for you,
I
right?
know it's bad for me if I sit in my room all day and play video games.
Yeah. And
See,
I
like
think
they're once you're old enough to self-regulate, and that should be taught
yeah,
to you. That's a much more important applicable skill than having
true.
things controlled for you, you know?
Yeah, it's because I feel like when we keep controlling that environment for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves for our children, they lose that ability to self-regulate because we don't
Yes.
give them the chance to say, you know what, I've been playing video
Mm-hmm.
games all day. I think it's time for me to stop. Like
Yeah.
something's happening to my body. So yeah, I definitely agree with it. Yes, definitely self-regulation is one of the biggest ones.
Mm-hmm.
So as you and so now let's go back to the Discord community. We kind of
Mm-hmm.
talked about OBS. So what
Yep.
does your Discord community look like? How many people
Well,
do you have on that? Is it a server
um,
where people just go in there, right?
yeah, it's a
Okay.
server. It's kind of like a forum that I've created.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like explain the how Discord works briefly. So in
Yes.
Discord, you can join different communities that are called servers.
Okay.
Um, and these are like basically like invite link only. There's not like a browse communities. Well, there is, but
Oh,
like
okay.
they're like really big ones.
Okay.
Um, like it's usually used as a tool for community building. That's basically what Discord is for.
Okay.
Or you can even use it for like a project team, right? Like say
Mm-hmm.
you're working on some kind of large project and you need a team. Like there's also Slack and whatnot for that. I don't know if you know about Slack. It's basically
Mm-mm.
business. It's basically business Discord.
Okay.
My
Okay.
OA Lodge uses it, which is a scout thing.
Okay.
Um, and everyone's on there. There's lots of different channels, usually
Okay.
for different topics, and it's
Okay.
just kind of like a I
Like
don't
a
know. There's
Chad.
yeah, just a chat room
Okay.
essentially for but there's lots of different ones that are based around different topics, all in
Okay.
one community server. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes absolute.
Okay,
I
awesome.
actually know a little bit more about Discord than I did about OBS
Hmm.
though, because we use that for some of our gaming, some of our friends
Hmm.
when they're gaming together, they use Discord to communicate.
Yeah,
So,
it's a really useful
um,
tool.
yeah, so that's pretty cool though. So as you build this community, do you get to tell people about your lifestyle?
Well, yeah, I guess I say I would. I mean, I'm streaming for like 3, 4 hours sometimes every night. So, I mean, I gotta talk about something.
I love it.
Uh,
So
so,
there was a video from I don't know if you know him. His name was Andrew Stern, and he developed a sentence that he would say, hi, my
Mhm,
name is Andre. It's Andrew. His name's Andre, and I'm a boy because he used to have long hair,
mhm.
and I don't go to school. Is there something that you develop? Like, I love your long hair, by the way.
Thank you.
So, is there some sort of a sentence, or some sort of a meeting, like a starting point for you, like to say I'm on school, or how do you go about that?
Um, Usually, when I just say I don't go to school, and everyone's like, "What? That's illegal." And I'm like, and then I explain it more, so it gets them interested. Um, but I don't really have that for my community. Like my community, that the
They know
unschooling part of
you.
my life really isn't a part of the Discord community.
I love that.
It does. I mean, obviously the experiences I have from it do come into how I act and whatnot, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a topic of conversation usually
Okay.
because I mentioned earlier that it's kind of an unrelatable thing. And when you're
Okay.
doing stuff for like a community and like on the internet, you gotta have some kind of connecting thread, right?
Connection. Yes.
So I don't like avoid it. But it's
Okay.
just not something that really comes up very much because it's not
Okay.
something a lot of people know about or understand. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
disconnecting to try to make conversation around that sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. I could
But it
see that.
definitely does help me, like because I have a lot of freedom to interact with lots of different people. So it
Mm-hmm.
helps me in that capacity to interact with people in a community.
That sounds really,
Hmm.
yeah, that I do agree. I think a lot of people don't know about it, and it does bring a lot of uh probably disconnect from people who don't know about it, right?
Hmm.
I think everybody sometimes people are afraid of it. So,
Yeah.
but you also mentioned some of your music,
Hmm.
so how long have you been playing your instruments and stuff?
A while. I don't or exactly remember. Pretty much since we moved here, I think. So about
Okay.
been playing drums probably like 4 years, and then
Okay.
bass guitar like two maybe. So
Mm-hmm. Do you play in a band?
I don't.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Kind of hard to find a band in Nashville. It's not like yee country music. So I don't know. I'll learn double bass. Maybe I'll start a metal band. I got the hair for it.
Oh my goodness. I love that. So, what is I know, and then you have a sister. So, and
Hmm.
I know that you guys like to travel. What do you guys, you have some trips coming up, right?
We do. Let me open my calendar. Hold on. Uh, Pretty soon in June, actually.
Okay.
We're gonna be going all the way up in the northwest, so that's like Washington,
Mm-hmm.
that area, all the
That air.
flyover states, basically.
Okay.
The North Dakotas of the
Oh,
U.S. Yeah. Uh,
that's really cool.
and then once we're done with that, I'll have gone to all 48 of the contiguous United States. Be pretty cool. Yeah.
Woohoo!
So I've been
What's
in New England, been the
okay?
Southwest,
Okay.
South, except Louisiana for some reason. Actually, I've gone to all of them except Louisiana. So sorry, Louisiana. Nothing
Oh,
against you. It's just kind of out of the
nothing.
way.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite so far?
My favorite, I really, really like New Mexico. I think New
Yeah.
Mexico is really beautiful out there. I really like the culture. The food is very good.
Okay. Okay.
um, I just really like it. I think it's a very like diverse landscape. It's got
Okay.
desert. It's got
Mm-hmm.
mountain. Actually, that's basically it. But it's
But
really cool though.
that's still pretty diverse. I do
Hmm.
know somebody that lives there, and he calls it the hidden gem of the United States.
I don't think it's that hidden. It's really cool. It's
Yeah,
just a gem.
that is so amazing though.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool though. As you guys go to travel, what is your favorite things to do? Like, I know I like to visit museums sometimes. What do you guys like to do as a family when you travel? Your
Um,
favorite part?
I don't. It's kind of a tough question to answer. Usually we'll just find something to do. I don't. There's not like a we gotta go see the blank. It's We don't
Yeah.
really have that.
Okay.
Um,
You just go with the
we do
flow.
like to go to museums.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
do
I
do
love
that quite a
museums.
bit. I like to go see all the Capitol buildings.
Okay.
If we're near the Capitol.
Okay.
The nicest one so far has been Rhode Island. Weirdly.
Okay. Nice.
There's like a lawn chair just in the middle of like the yard for some reason with no one in it. I thought it was really funny.
That sounds really fun. I love chatting with you because
Mm.
this is just it's almost like you're kind of like a unicorn in a way, you know.
Okay.
And I mean it with the most respect though, in the sense that
I'll
we
take
don't.
it. Unicorns are cool.
Yeah, unicorns are awesome because we don't get to, we're just, I think a lot of people are starting to realize what
Mhm.
our children need as, as people, and it's to give them their freedom as
Yeah.
they come in this world with it, right? So if you were to, like, if there was someone your age who has been going to public school or something, but they have started to learn about unschooling, I feel like it is a lot more known out there ever since
Hmm.
the pandemic and people went into like pandemic homeschooling and stuff like that. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people that learned about unschooling.
I've noticed that as well.
Yeah, and then
Hmm.
if they were like trying to bring it up to their parents, what would you say to them?
Um, well, I think that I'm gonna go on. This will wrap back around to the answer to the question, I promise. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that I've seen, and not all unschooling communities are like this, but I've seen that sometimes they end up being echo chambers for
Mm-hmm.
like very radical things. And radical things are sometimes fine. Radical is a cool word. Like
Mm-hmm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, whatever, radical, great.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times they can end up being echo chambers. And then I have seen, I've heard stories of like people who were like radically unschooled, and it did not work for them,
Mm-hmm.
and like they didn't have any life skills and they didn't know what to do because
Mm-hmm.
they were just like, you know, left to their own. Which
Mm-hmm.
that's not what unschooling is.
Yes.
My mom is. I don't like. It's not like I never talk to her. It's not like she doesn't make me food. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
she. I call her my mom secretary. She's my secretary. So like she's there to enable me because I
Mm-hmm.
do not have all the freedom of an adult. That's just a fact of the society we live in.
Yes.
So she's there to enable me to explore things I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so having a connection with your parents is really important so they can, help you with that. And I say that because I do not think everybody should be unschooled or homeschooled for that matter. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's something that if school's not working for you, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
like it, if it's like a bad social environment, if you're not learning properly, I think people should have the freedom and resources to explore other things,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I were to bring it up to a parent of mine, I would probably just really emphasize that like school isn't working for me and I found this and I want us to try to make a lifestyle change so
Mm-hmm.
I can be the best person I can be.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like that is how I
Yeah.
would approach it.
Yeah, 100%. And I love how you touch on that not everyone should be
Mhm.
homeschooled or
I really don't
unschooled
think
for
they
that
should.
matter,
I
because
have plenty of friends who
mm-hmm.
are like, I school is great for me. I know what I want to do, and I've been given the opportunities I need to succeed. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
great, but that
Mm-hmm.
not for everybody. It's
Yes. Yes.
it's about freedom
No.
of choice, not
Mm-hmm.
anarchism.
Exactly. No, I really, really love that though, because if it wasn't for, as a parent, I had to do a lot of internal work. And I think
Mhm,
sometimes, when we come into this lifestyle as adults, we definitely come in a little broken. And
mhm.
when we're trying to give a different lifestyle from the system that broke us per se, that we could do a lot more damage, right? Than
Yes.
actual help. So highly, highly agree with that though. So I love that you touch on that.
Mhm.
Um, and then I guess if you could describe, you just said it, but if you could describe unschooling to one person, if you had like 3 words to choose, what would they be?
Um, just in 3 words,
Yes. Well, you can use more, I guess.
freedom of choice.
I love that. I
I have
unschooling.
another conversation topic if you want. There's like one more aspect of my life we haven't touched on yet,
Oh yeah, sure.
which I think is really important to
Okay.
like my success in unschooling. And that's scouts, like scouting.
Oh yeah, let's talk
Um,
about that.
yes. So scouting, I've been doing it since I was like a little tiny guy. I was
Uh-huh.
like since a tiger, which I think is you're 6 years old when you're a
Oh
tiger in Cub
wow.
Scouts.
Uh-huh.
So I'm 16 now. I've been doing this for 10 years, way
That's
more
a
than
long
half my
time.
life. Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
long time. I haven't really known anything different. And scouting has like it's raised me in a way to
Mm-hmm.
be a leader, which I love.
Okay.
It's awesome. It just gives you so many opportunities to do things. And I think if I wasn't doing scouting, I think unschooling would probably be a lot harder for me. I
Okay.
genuinely do, because it gives me a community of people. I have a troop,
Mm-hmm.
I have an OA lodge, I have uh tons of other things too.
Okay.
It gives me responsibility. I'm in lots
Mm-hmm.
of different leadership positions.
Okay.
Like, I'm the SPL of my troop, which is like the head honcho, it's senior patrol leader. I am
I
the
love
Slack
it.
chair in my OA
Okay.
lodge,
Okay.
which is that I'm like the guy who's supposed to manage the a communication service we use, right? And
Okay.
then I am the chapter chief of my OA chapter.
Okay.
I'm also the SBL for our contingent to National Jamboree. I got elected that a little while ago. There's like 40 people, all from Middle Tennessee Council,
Uh-huh.
and they're going to National Jamboree in West Virginia at Summit. It's
Okay.
a massive camp. It has AT&T
Okay.
Wi-Fi boosters everywhere, which is funny. Um, it's really cool. I've been there once.
Okay.
Uh, actually, fun fact. During during National Jamboree Summit, the camp becomes the third largest city in all of West Virginia.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Which I don't know if that reflects highly on scouting or poorly on West Virginia.
I think poorly in West Virginia. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so amazing though. So you guys been doing
Mhm.
too. Does your sister does scouting too, or no? Is it just you?
No, she used to do Girl Scouts, which is
Okay.
completely different.
Yeah.
Um, but she stopped doing that. She didn't like it very much.
Yeah. I don't know. I always yeah, I was a Girl Scout in
Mhm.
Mexico for like this tiny and I didn't really like it
Mhm.
either. So I'm not really
It's
sure
it's a different
why.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
Mm-hmm.
much I think it's much more about like I don't know, it's more about like the citizenship part, I think. As
Okay.
Girl Scouts has a more focus on that, whereas Boy Scouts I think is a lot more all encompassing. I think you
Okay.
can get a lot more out of I shouldn't call it Boy Scouts, it's just called Scouts BSA now. I mean, girls can
Yes.
join.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, that
So,
was when did that
mhm.
happen? Happened a couple of years ago, right?
2019?
2019. Yes, I remember being it up it was a big I remember being it out in the papers and the
Mhm.
news a lot. So, yes. That's cool. How many times a week do you guys meet up?
Well, I have my troop meeting once a week every
Mhm.
Monday, and then
Mhm.
I have my OA meeting, which I have to explain OA now.
Yes, please
um,
do.
so I have my OA meeting the second Thursday of each month, but we're not meeting right now because it's like people are out of school. So
Okay.
OA is the Scouting Honor Society. It stands for the Order of the Arrow,
Okay.
and you have to be elected into that by a council of your peers, aka your
Mhm.
troop.
Mhm.
And then you must go through an induction process, which I can't say because it's secret. Um, and then you just get to do cool stuff. It unlocks so many cool opportunities. Like, for
Okay.
instance, NOAC, which is the National Order of the Arrow Conference, which is essentially the National Jamboree. But for OA members, they have it at a different university every year. They had
Uh-huh.
one at University of Tennessee, Knoxville last year. And I hold
Okay.
on a minute. My uniform. And our lodge had a contingent of quite a few people. I was
Mhm.
there. I was tasked with running our Ignite booth, which is like a
Okay.
little booth in a convention thing. And they got dope patches and stuff. That's the one that our
Uh
contingent had.
oh, I
Every
love
single lodge
that.
that goes gets a different patch.
Okay.
And ours was this one. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty
Uh,
cool.
it the set of this one and the dark one sold for like, this is a night version of this too. Sold for
Okay.
like $200 on eBay. So I
$200.
know the
Oh,
patches are kind of insane.
oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Is there a big black market for that
Yes, there
on
definitely
eBay?
is.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. That sounds like a lot for
But I bring
sure.
up NOAC because there's so many different like training opportunities you can get,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I was basically just living in a dorm with one other person for like a week, and I just
Okay.
kind of was like walking around the college campus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went to Walgreens on my own volition. That was kind of neat. It was a moment of freedom for me. Like,
Oh, I just love that. So how much longer do you get to do scouts? Like, could you stay for, I don't know, past 18? I don't know anything about it. Is there an ending? Is there a like
ye
ending of the troops or something?
sort
Or
of.
okay.
So you for Scouts BSA. um, you have to you age out at 18 years old, like on your
Okay.
18th birthday.
Hmm.
Then you're like done. You can't earn any more ranks, but you can still be an assistant scoutmaster. Like you can be an adult involved in the troop.
Okay.
There's still a lot you can do there, like to help provide like adult leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but if you're in venturing, which is a separate program, also run by like BSA, there's actually quite a few. There's
Mm-hmm.
main three are Scouts, BSA, venturing, and Sea Scouts.
Okay.
Sea Scouts is like they got boats. uh, I
Okay.
mean,
That makes
they're
sense.
neat, yeah.
Yeah.
And then venturing is more about experiences. Usually they don't meet as often. You can be in
Okay.
all three at once. There's actually someone who is. They got Scout of the Year this year, so
Wow. That
massive
sounds
W,
like
Hannah
a,
Neal.
I know, but it sounds like a big commitment, right? I
Oh,
mean,
it
on
is.
on everything, right?
It
So,
definitely is.
okay. That
Um,
sounds
yeah.
so
So
do you
if
think you're gonna stay in them after you age out? I mean, you only have 2 more years.
um probably in
Yeah.
venturing you can go until you're 21 though, and in
Okay.
the OA you can be a youth adult until you're 21. So you can still participate in youth activities, but you're still treated as an adult
Okay. Okay.
because after they got lawsuited a lot and went bankrupt, they they
Oh,
put
I love
in
it.
there's a lot of very like strict, it's called YPT, youth
Yeah.
protection training. There's a lot
Okay.
of that now. So
Okay.
adults and kids have to be separated for like sleeping
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's taken very
Yeah.
seriously now. So
Yeah. For sure.
uh that's the main reason why there's like an adult cutoff, but youth adult exists in the OA. You can still participate until you're
Mm-hmm.
21, and then
Okay.
you can be like the same deal. You can kind of be an adult who's involved, and
Okay.
then in venturing it goes. I think venturing is from 15 to 21, uh, or like 14 to 21. It doesn't start at like 11
Okay.
like Boy Scouts does.
Hmm.
So they're a little different program. The
Yeah,
programs are a
it's
little different.
I know, but so as you're getting close into your like adult years per se, I know you started driving recently, right?
Yes.
How's that? Do you love it?
I
Or
like it. It's nice. It's kind of funny because all the places I need to go, usually my mom also does, so it doesn't actually change my life that much. I did draft my OA meeting yesterday, which is like I had to take a, I had to take like a road that you go fast on. I don't. It's not really an interstate.
okay.
Um, like speeding is like 65. I don't know. So
Okay.
that was like whoa.
That is
I don't
pretty,
know.
I
I
mean,
like it though. It's fun.
usually people on, I mean, at least here in Michigan, any road that
Mhm.
is like 65, people will go 80.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like
I
they
mean,
don't.
it's not horrible here, but it definitely happens.
Okay. That and then your mom mentioned also, I think at some point that you still have kind of like an online uh school or an umbrella school or something. Is
Yes.
there still part of that's something that you guys do still, right?
Well, we were under an umbrella school called Home Life Academy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's essentially just what my mom submits grades to,
Yeah.
because you have to.
Yeah.
That's mainly the function it serves.
Yeah. And then is that where
Mhm.
like high school, like the diploma would come from, right? Is that what that's
Yes,
for? Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah. And then do you have any plans after that? Or
Well, I'll tell you my what I want to do. I haven't made like a
okay.
roadmap for this yet.
Yes.
But these are like the steps I want to take.
Okay.
Uh, so I would like to this year do some dual enrollment
Okay.
at the local community college, because
Mm-hmm.
in Tennessee you have 2 free years of community college because
Oh
Tennessee's
yeah.
great. So
Yes.
that I'd like to do that, do the dual enrollment, especially since I have the time to. It's not like I'm going to a public high school.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, I would go move to Florida, hopefully, and
Okay.
then because I'll be 18 by then.
Okay.
And then I would like to major in business, minor in Japanese. I'm also learning Japanese, by the way.
I love
And
it.
then I would like to go teach English in Japan for a while, just so I can
Okay.
live in a different country because I really want
Mm-hmm.
to.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully I can then come back to the US and land some job between the two countries,
Okay.
because I feel like that's a niche enough skill set. I could probably
Yeah.
find something.
Most definitely.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. There's a yes, Japanese is such a cool
Mhm.
language though. It's hard
It's a really
though.
hard language.
Yes.
It's
Where are
so
you at on
difficult.
where are you at on your studies on that?
Um, I've been doing it for like 3 years or so.
Okay.
I've been more recently. I've been coming along. I didn't really take it seriously till like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But I've been coming along pretty well recently. I've been making a lot of like pretty rapid improvement. In
Mm-hmm.
like 2 Japanese classes. I study on my own a little bit.
Okay.
Uh,
Do you
it's
are you
it's
learning to
difficult
write it
language.
too? It is very,
Yeah, I
I
can
know
write
it's,
it.
yeah,
I
I
can.
know. Go ahead.
Sorry, I keep doing that. I keep cutting you off.
No, 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 you're fine.
I talk a lot.
I love it.
I like talking about myself. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
That's so cool.
um, let's see. So the way Japanese works is there's 3 different writing
Mm-hmm.
systems.
Yep.
So there's hiragana, katakana, and kanji.
And kanji.
And
Mm-hmm.
kanji's the hard one. That's like, oh no.
Yeah.
That's the one that the Chinese characters
The
basically.
Chinese. Mm-hmm.
And then there's one that's just like, man, if I need to, I don't want to explain the entire, I don't explain a syllabary, or I'm doing it anyway. Okay, so in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got letters, and they all
Yes.
make like a sound. In
Mm-hmm.
Japanese, you have characters, and they all make a syllable, right? So
Okay.
there's 5 vowels, a, I, U, E, O, and then you put a consonant in front of different vowels. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a character for each of those different sounds. There's like a ka,
Okay.
ki, ku, ke, ko, sa, shi, su, se, so. It's like goes around, it goes like that. And then there's
Okay.
also that's just also a sound that exists. Is
Okay. What
That's
does
essentially how the language works. And hiragana and katakana are 2 different versions of that.
mm-hmm. Okay.
And then kanji is different.
Oh, I love that. I've been to Japan several
Mhm.
times, and it
Really?
is, yeah, it's I am a flight attendant for a
Oh.
major US airline. So I used to do a lot of Asia. So I did China and Japan
Mhm.
for quite a bit.
That's cool.
But I was in my wildest dreams before children, I try to learn Japanese.
Mhm.
Like it was, I think I did that. That stint lasted maybe, I don't know, 6 months, and then I realized that it
It's
was
a life
you
commitment.
yes,
You have to
exactly.
you need to give 10 years of
Yes.
yourself to this language to even like
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It is a lot though. So do you have any Japanese friends that you can practice with?
I have my Japanese teacher.
Yeah.
But no, not really. No, actually,
Yeah.
no, I do know one person. I just don't really talk to him that much.
Yeah.
He lives in Vancouver. He's like half Japanese.
Okay.
It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's a beautiful language though, and it's a beautiful
It
country.
is.
It's just, but it, like you said, it's a commitment. So
Mm-hmm.
I settled for learning because my native language is Spanish. I settled for
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese
It's close
because
enough.
it was close enough, at least, for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
did 6 months, and then I was able to do what I needed to do for work. So that's
Mm-hmm.
really what I wanted it for. But
Did you learn the Portugal version or the Brazilian version?
the
Or are they
Brazilian version,
okay?
yes, yes. Wow, I'm impressed because not a lot of people realize the difference between the
Mm-hmm.
two.
Yeah,
I
they're pretty
think,
different.
yes, I think if I went to Portugal right now, I would probably be like, "What? What are you saying?"
Yeah.
Because it's very different though. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, so I settled for Portuguese, and then hopefully maybe Italian in one
Oh yeah.
later on. But
Just
I
collect all the
give
Romance languages.
all of them though. But I give you
Mm-hmm.
credit. Japanese is definitely I love that you have that roadmap already
Mm-hmm.
established. So,
I gotta
um
get like, goals and like so another thing scouting helped me with is there's a program called NYLT, which stands for National Youth Leadership Training. And
okay.
it is basically it changed my life completely
Okay.
going to that. Like I genuinely did. I don't say that lightly. And it just opened my eyes to how to be a leader and like how to
Okay.
plan stuff like that. And like this program, it tells you, like it
Hmm.
teaches you in like in an immersive way because you're at this camp for like five days, and that's just all you're doing constantly. You have no time in between
Wow.
anything. It's like, all right, you wake up, you have 1 hour to cook, eat, and clean breakfast,
Wow, that's
and then yeah, we never got it done on time.
no.
and then and then you go and you do some training, and then it's
Okay.
like kind of repeat basically.
Okay.
Um, and one of the things that it teaches you is how to make a vision and goals and how to like
Yeah,
make a step-by-step process to get to where you want to be
to
as a
where you want to
person.
be.
Yeah, and
I love
that's
that.
so useful for me.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be useful for anybody, right? If they had
Of
the time
course.
to develop, to
Mm-hmm.
develop those goals though, because I think, one of the things that I've noticed when we were in school is that we didn't have the time to really sit down and think this is what we want to do and how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So the timing. So I love that you have had the time and the support from your parents, to be able to
Yeah.
work on the schools together as a family. And because your mom and
Mhm.
I were talking about how people don't say, they say, oh, wait until they're teenagers, right? Wait until they're
Mhm.
teenagers. They're horrible. They're horrible. And we
I
both
just
said
it
like, no.
depends. I mean, they're I mean they're horrible. I mean, I'm trying to think of how to, because there is some credence to that statement.
Okay.
They like my sister's pretty moody.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, I'm sure I can be a pain as well sometimes. I try not to be. I don't think I am, but um, I don't know. It's just like you're becoming an adult. Like you start to have opinions and thoughts, and some parents aren't
Yeah.
prepared for that.
Yes. Oh,
So
so
I don't
much
know. You
truth
just
in
have to get
that.
used to treating
Mhm.
your teenager like a human being. Like
Yes.
I have a friend whose mom who doesn't really do that. And
Okay.
I went to his Eagle project, and
Hmm.
I had to like scream at her really, really loud because she kept treating us like little babies the whole time.
Oh my
And
goodness.
actually it was an interesting experience because it kind of shows the attitude people who are
Yes.
homeschooled and interact with adults a lot, people who
Hmm.
aren't have. Because there's another kid there who was like, "Do you do that to every adult?" And I was like, "No, just the ones that suck." I
So
was like, "I'm not
it
gonna sit there and take that. No, like she's
No, and I think it's so true. You hit
absolutely
the
not."
Yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head when you said a lot of people are not used to, respecting,
No, they're not.
younger people's opinions and take them as like true
Mhm.
statements, right? And I
Sometimes their
think that's
opinions
what
are
bothers.
bad, and that's
Hmm.
okay though.
Yes,
Everyone's
yes,
opinions are bad sometimes.
yes,
It's like
exactly.
it's
Absolutely.
your job to, show them like, okay, maybe that's not exactly how things work. This is how things work. It's not like you're wrong, I'm right,
I'm right. Yeah. Yeah.
child. Like
Yes.
you've lost an argument. I learned this at scout camp as well because there's a scoutmaster that got really mad at me, and I
Uh-huh.
talked to him. I went back. I was like on my phone waiting to go in the shower house. He's like, "Get off your phone. There's people waiting in line." I was like, "Okay, buddy, calm down." He didn't like that very much.
Of
So
course.
so I went and talked to him after. I was like, "Sorry, we got off on the wrong foot. I didn't really like that. My name's Emerson. Nice to meet you." And then eventually it got to like, I don't know. He eventually it just got to like, "I'm an adult. You're a child." And I was like, "All
Mm,
right."
yeah.
And I just walked away.
Hmm.
And then I talked to like my adult leaders in my troop are really nice. So they're like, that you have learned a valuable lesson. There are some people you just cannot win against.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
friend's mom was the same way because she had used the same talking point, and I was like, "All right, I know I've lost. Goodbye.
Good luck.
Yep,
Have a good life.
not doing this anymore." Like
Yeah.
you can't. You're not going to get anywhere when you're
No.
talking to someone with that mindset.
Hmm.
It just doesn't work. And if you are someone um who is a kid and does not feel like they're being heard, and there are people in your life that are like that, you don't have to listen to them because they're not listening to you. That's my message, okay?
Yeah. And it is so true. And it is
Mhm.
better to walk away and then just to move on, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
it's just like you just know you're not going to get anywhere
That was
though.
hard for me to accept, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. That's hard for everyone though,
Mhm.
not just for you. I think it's for everyone. For us to be able to say no to some people and just kind of like
Mhm.
just,
Like, you're
quietly
not
walk
worth my
away.
time.
Yeah, you're not worth my time. Absolutely
Which
though.
sounds like
So
a cocky statement, but it's really not. I don't think it
no,
is.
no, I agree though, because I think from, from my experience, we're told that we're supposed to like have this space for everyone, and be like good to everyone. But if those
Mhm.
people are not good for you,
Exactly.
why am I taking the
It's
time and
mutual.
energy? Exactly. It should be mutual. Highly
Mhm.
agree on that. So
Like, if they're divorced from the fact that they're a child, if there's just an adult and they're not being nice to you,
why would you
why would
stay?
you do that? Why would you
Hmm.
stay there?
Yes.
It makes no difference because you're a kid, right? Like,
Hmm. It
I
shouldn't though. It shouldn't.
it shouldn't make a difference.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, like, if someone's just not being very nice to you, just don't. You don't have to give them the time
You
of
know,
day. Your time is valuable as a kid. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Your time is just as
absolutely.
valuable as anyone else.
Oh my goodness, I love that. And that is
Mm.
exactly, yes, that is exactly our message here. Your time is
Mhm.
valuable and you should spend it with the people that respect you
Exactly.
and
That
understand you and help you
Mhm.
succeed.
That's what it all boils down to, I think, as well. Because like,
Hmm.
if school isn't respecting your time, like a public school isn't
Hmm.
respecting your time, then you shouldn't have to be forced to go through that system. Because
No,
that's a
I
lot of the
agree.
times what happens is like you go to school for like 8 hours a day.
Yes.
And you're like, why am I here for
Why
8
are you
hours?
here?
All my friends that are homeschooled and are like less radical than me, right? Because I do have friends that are homeschooled.
Yes, yes.
Like I was talking to my friend yesterday, and she's just like, yeah, I get done school in like 2 hours. It's like usually. So why do you have to be there for 8 hours and have to be in like sweaty hormone environment where everyone's competing for each other,
For each
social
other, and this,
status? Like that
yes.
sucks. That's not how the real world works.
Exactly. Oh, it is so painful to see them go through that when they know that there is something else beyond those walls, right? So, wow. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much for this amazing conversation. Any last words that you would like to leave us with?
Oh, I swallowed that water weird. Hold on. That wasn't my last word.
It's okay.
Okay. Oh, that was really bad.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness, are you okay?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
You asked earlier if I had like a phrase I say. I don't really. But sometimes I do say I play video games on the internet, which is a totally original idea that no one else has ever had before. So I guess that's my words of wisdom to leave with.
Yes.
And my actual words of wisdom that are, I think, valuable is just you should respect your own time and have other people respect your time. I think if we had to boil that down, it'd probably be to that, is that your time is valuable and your opinions are important, no matter how old you are.
Yes. Yes, I highly agree that. I highly agree with that. So thank you, Emerson. And that actually is usually the way I close. So we're gonna put all of Emerson's links on the comments on that. Usually the way I close is that your time is valuable. So I hope everyone's making it count.
Well,
Thank
there you go.
I know. Thank you so much, Emerson. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.
Bye.